Hey, what's good, everybody in the community? Yes, I said community because for some of us, that is what it is. Listen, welcome to the dopest, most prolific, and undeniably greatest podcast on YouTube and the world. Back to Basics, a comic book podcast. You know, this is season 2, and we are rolling and shaking. We're doing some great things. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our folks who support and follow us, have been doing that for the past almost 2 years, Tempos. Isn't that crazy?
That's
Almost two
crazy, man.
years.
It's a
Crazy.
long time.
Long time.
A lot of fun.
Yep. A lot of folks too, and we're looking forward to interviewing some more amazing folks, and also this guest here. We recently hit a milestone, and it may not be big for some of the other folks on other YouTubes, but Tempos and I and our Back to Basics, we hit 100 subscribers onto our channel, which is amazing. So we're so excited about that. And we're looking for world domination. That's pretty much it in the comic book industry and pop culture. Not the whole world with other things. There's a lot of politics going on. We just want the comic book industry and the pop culture area. So that's what we're doing. This is our second season, like I said, of the show, and we've had some amazing guests. If this is your first time, buckle up and welcome to the Back to Basics family. If you are a subscriber and follow, we thank you for coming back and listening to us just talk about comics and geeking out. We hope we're providing you with the glimpses into the business, but most importantly, we also want to make sure that we center the creators first. So we find that their origin stories provide the gateway into their world and how it translates into their work and their publications, which is why we even created this podcast. And that's what makes us different than any other podcast. We want the audience to see the diversity of our community and learn about the bumps and bruises, which there are a lot of them, and success stories within the industry. And who knows, you might be the next big time creative. So we're looking forward to this interview here. My name is Gen X. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. And I'm the Papi Chulo of comics, and proud to be one of the co-hosts of Back to Basics. Tempos always laughs about that. You'll know more about if you watch our past episodes with Puerto Rican or Puerto Rocks from New York. So it makes a whole lot of sense to us. But anyway, comic books were one of the most impactful pieces of artwork and literature growing up for me, and it really tapped into the lessons in life for me. It also got me reading a ton of books, and now I'm coming back to the art form with new eyes and appreciation for it. And I'm thankful for all the creatives that poured into my education, whether they knew it or not. And I honor you all by doing this part of just contributing back to the community and doing this podcast. So I'm gonna shut up for right now. I'll be back in a minute. But here is my brother from another mother, Tempos.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Tempos. You know how it is. I bring a mix of comics and culture to your ear. Now, guys, I need y'all to do me a favor. If y'all like what y'all hearing, please, I need y'all to comment, share it to all y'all friends. Make sure they get a dose of what we're putting out there. We want y'all to comment, right? We want to get this live. We want to get to 200 next, guys. Help us out with that. But let's get to the show. It's the Brooklyn way.
See, Tempos, I was about to ask you, who are you? Because you always try to gloss over, but the Brooklyn way, I think that pretty much personifies. If nobody knows, also, Tempos has the complete runs of a ton of comic books. So if you're ever trying to figure out what happens, he's the one. Yeah.
I got everything from Kingdom Come, Towers of Babel. I got it all. I got it all.
He got it all. All right. So each of us are personalities in our own right, and we communicate through Instagram. So make sure you touch base. So I am, as you can see, Gen X _ comics on IG. And Tempos, what's your IG handle?
Tempos, you heard at
That's right.
IG.
You heard. So you can't forget that one. You can also count on us to always bring amazing content. Again, follow us on IG. Also under the Back to Basics banner at Back to Basics _ comic podcast. That is a mouthful.
Right.
So you ready, bro?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Do this. Let's do this. All right. Jaron Martin is the co-creator of The Reaper's Touch. That sounds ominous. That title right there. He's part of this comic book. Is amazing, and it's based. He's based out of Metro Atlanta area. He started working on the book in 2017 and released issue #1 in 2020. That must have been a huge, monumentous occasion. Currently, the team is working on issue #3 for February 2025 release date.
Can't wait.
I know, me too. And Jaron also serves as the writer for the series. Here's a little synopsis of the Reaper's Touch. So imagine, actually, let me do my voiceover voice. Ready? Imagine being a 16-year-old kid getting ready to start your senior year in high school, and halfway through the summer, your entire world gets turned upside down. Believing in angels and demons is one thing, getting attacked by them in real life is a completely different ball game. All right. I hope I did you justice, Jaron.
That was good.
If Shine out, was that good, Tempo?
That was good, bro.
I'm trying to, polish my techniques here. I also want to give shout out to William Macy, who's also a co-creator here. He's also based out of Philadelphia, aka Philadelphia, and he serves as the artist for the Reaper's Touch. So I just wanted to bring our newfound friend. There we go.
What's going on, fella?
What's going on? Welcome to the Back to Basics show. I hope I didn't embarrass you too much. I hope I represented with the voiceover a little bit. Hopefully we can get more information from you, but wanted to just thank you so much for coming in. Let me give you the proper flowers and claps. Yes.
Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
Us brothers got to make sure that we always are appreciative of each other. We're always grinding and making sure that our families, friends are taken care of, and we got to take care of ourselves. So this is our way of taking care of you, giving you mad props for you and William. So, Jaron, how you doing? How's everything going? I know you got a lot going on. You just revealed some stuff.
Man.
Thank you for taking some time to come to our show. We're excited to hear the breaking news at some point during the interview you'll talk about, and around Reaper's Touch as well. And this is about it. So this is what they call an exclusive in the biz. So I'm excited for that. So just to get us jump started, just a question we ask everybody is, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your origin story is. So your background, upbringing, your identities and influences, your connects, with William, and also Ulysses, who's over in, I believe, still in Mexico, and he's your inker. So I'm curious to know how your origin story unfolds.
Oh man, so I've been living in Georgia for the past 38 years. Born in Roanoke, Virginia. I always had a love for comics. Like my grandmother actually introduced me to comics and is the one that got me reading them. So from as far back as I can remember, like my favorite character from from then up to now has been Wolverine. Right? Love Wolverine, Deadpool, and Spawn. Um, I've had the idea for the Reaper's Touch it's been about 11 or 12 years now. So I always kind of played around with the idea a bit. And then I actually met a guy by the name of, that you all may know, by the name of Greg Burnham, who is the co-creator of Tuskegee Airs. So we ended up meeting through a mutual friend, and I saw some of the early work him and Marcus Williams was doing. And then when they released Tuskegee Airs, I told Greg, I said, man, that's super dope. And I told him about this idea I had, and he really pushed me. He said, look, man, you've been talking about this for a while. You just got to stop waiting for everything to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Before you start, like really get out there and just get the process rolling. So that's what I did. I didn't know much about the business side of it. I knew how to write. I've always been a writer. I've always written stories from as far back as I can remember. Like I would write my own versions of the comic books I was reading, because I would always think, okay, well, what if Wolverine did this instead of that? What would that look like, right? So my little, rinky-dink writing abilities from back when I was little, I've kind of been, I guess you could say, honing that process up till now. And I started looking. I said, okay, I know I'm gonna need somebody to draw the book. I know I'm not gonna need somebody to do the lettering and all that other stuff. So I hopped on Instagram and I started looking for people. I was just searching comic book artists in my area, and then just kind of broadened the search. And the one thing that kind of hit me like a ton of bricks initially was, okay, wow, this isn't a cheap endeavor either. It's expensive.
Yep.
Right? And I'm one of those people who I completely understood it from the jump, right? As I started to find out what people charging just for just building out the characters themselves, right? Before you even get into drawing the book, getting all of that done. And I was like, whoo, man, my pockets are nowhere near that deep. So I reached out to a ton of people, and I was asking people, hey, I'm this unknown writer. I think I've got this dope idea. Would you want to partner? And I literally I got a ton of no's. People were just like, no, they've either been through something like that before and had a bad experience.
Oh,
Um, and then some people were just like, no, right now it's just commission based only. This is the page rate. This is how much it would charge or whatnot. And went through that. I think it was almost about a year. I was looking for an artist, and literally the day I was about to just hang it up, I came across Will's profile, and I saw his artwork, and I was like, man, he's super dope. I'm just gonna try one more time. And he said, yeah. He said he actually met with me initially. I told him to, give him my whole spiel and the whole shebang about what I wanted to do and the storyline, and he liked it. But he too said, I've kind of been through this. He used to run a comic book store, and he's been involved with a few startups that didn't go well as well. So he was initially like, don't really do it, but I'll help you do your character. I'll make it reasonably priced for you, so I won't kill your pockets. Uh, and then as we started to go through that process, um, I just kept pushing. Hey man, we really need to partner. We really need to partner. And he kept saying no, 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 no. And then something triggered. I guess when you kind of start to build a bond with people, I guess he just saw where my heart was, and I wasn't trying to get over on anybody, and he said he always loved the story. And he was like, you know what? I'm doing all this work building out the characters. Let's just finish it. Let's rock out. So
that's what's up.
we had some discussions and said, look, let's start this company, get this project rolling, and everything is just us two. So 50-50 down the middle for everything.
Wow.
And we finally released book one in 2020, issue two a few years after that, and we're working on issues three and four, by the way, are coming next year.
Wow.
Five if we can swing it. Five if we can swing it. But yeah, so yeah, here we are today. We started hitting the comic con circuit. We do as many signings as humanly possible that we can with lifing and doing all the things that life does. And yeah, man, it's been an absolute blast and a great learning experience so far. So and I gained a whole new respect for all the guys that came before me, everybody that's active in it now, and everybody that has aspirations to do this in the future. Because if you don't love it, you will by all means crash and burn early.
Yeah.
Early. So I guess at a high level, in a nutshell, that's kind of the origin story.
That's cool, man. So as far as I guess not to bleed into it, but when you think about even in our current state, right? So we're basically remote in all I've heard a lot of indie folks talk about like this collaboration thing, and that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know Ulysses is over in Mexico doing inking, or he did inking for y'all. How has that experience been in your origin story of like figuring out how to make this work, like, and also stepping into the deadline space, right? Like that's even more tougher.
Right.
Yep. So I can honestly say I've been extremely fortunate in that area. So Ulysses is in Mexico, and El Guerrero is the guy that does the coloring for us, and he's out in California. When I started reaching out, it was a lot easier to get an inker and a colorist and a letterer than it was actually procuring the actual artist. And one of the things that I found is, that I kind of practice in my everyday life and with work and just everywhere else too, is that, just be open and honest with people about what it is you're trying to do. As you were speaking to deadlines earlier, right? Get Hitting our deadlines has never really been that much of an issue because we give ourselves that a little bit of cushion time, right? I try not to make things too tight, because like I said, things happen. We all have families and things that we're trying to raise while chasing our passions as well. So yeah, with the deadline piece of it, we really don't have too many issues in that area. Um, and it's been great. I mean, we do what we doing now, right? We jump on Zoom calls or um, team calls, or even if we just got to do a FaceTime chat on the phone, we find out a way to communicate. And we send and drop off files in the Google Drive, right? Make sure everything gets done, and
Yeah.
uh, in that fashion. And then too, another thing is finding, I guess you could say, finding people that have a love for it, right? And they're not just doing it just to make money off of it, right? So when we're in the meetings, they're asking me the same thing, right? Okay, so what do you write next? Like, how is this going to turn out? Like we, can you send us the scripts early because we want to know. So they love what we do just as much as we do, and they take pride in that too. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it shows in the artwork and in the writing itself. So um, I can say that part has been like I've been blessed with that part. It's been fairly easy.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, you definitely kind of talked about it, but I kind of want to hear a little more. Tell me how the characters, how were you influenced with the characters? How did you talk to, the drawer with getting these
Mhm.
characters and the specific clothing, the art,
Mhm.
powers?
Mhm.
How did that come up in the
So
journey?
yep. So I can a lot of that falls on Will, in all honesty. The characters themselves are I pull inspiration from people around me. The main character, Devon Midnight, that's my oldest son, right? Um, the first few Reapers that you see after the first few issues, Natasha, Colin, Colin's my baby brother. Natasha's,
Okay.
my god sister. We've been rocking for 20 plus years. The Grandma Rhonda character in the book, that's my mama, right? So um, I pull the basics of the characters' personalities from there. Um, and then, of course, I put a little extra on it. Um, but that's where the characteristics and their personas come from. And then with the actual character designs itself, so the cool thing about me and Will working together for so long is like he's we've kind of learned each other's style, so to say. So I know I can give him I don't have to give him too much, and then he takes it. If I give him something that's at a level 3, just an idea that's churning in my head, he'll take it to 20,
Hmm.
right? And then we just kind of go back and forth with it. So a lot of the character design we talked about, but the majority of that is Will in terms of what you see, like what Devon's wearing, the face coverings for the Reapers that we'll go into a little bit more depth on in later issues. Um, like that's all Will bringing those creative ideas to the table when we're talking and discussing, where we want to move next with, how the characters will look, what the feel is of the characters and all of that. So a lot of that part falls on him too. Um,
Nice.
and he's done from my let me tell you, he's done a wonderful job, phenomenal job with
Oh
that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Man, that's awesome, man. Hey, congrats, because we talk to a lot of people, and it's similar when they have a great bond with like
Mhm.
a drawer
Mhm.
or inker or writer, and it's like it's pretty much the same story. But a lot of people haven't found that yet. Hopefully, they find that in
Mhm.
the future. But the ones that
Yeah.
do, is like, man,
Yeah.
I make magic, man. Congrats,
Yeah.
congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool too, because even when I'm writing the books, when I'm writing, at first I used to write these super intricate scenes for each one of the panels, and get way into the detail, and then if there was a panel where I wouldn't put too much into the background, he would then take that and do the same thing, right? And just blow it up to something where, I didn't even think he was gonna do artistically, to the point as to where now I don't have to get super deep anymore. Like I know how to guide his artistic pen. You know what I'm saying? I can say something as simple as Devon enters a room in a coffee house and it's dimly lit, right? He'll take that simple explanation and then it turns into I can't remember which page it is on book one, but the pages where they're in the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Devon's getting his girlfriend coffee, and then he does all of that, and then he adds little things in there like uh, that just Easter eggs and stuff like that into those pages where he's like, okay, he knows where I want to go with these panels and these pages based off of the way I was writing at the beginning, of a relationship. So yeah, yeah, it's super cool, man. Like I said, I hope to your point, Tempos. I mean, I hope everybody finds that because it's a beautiful synergy.
So can you talk to me about the evolution between issues 1, 2, and 3, and just the artwork and how that has transpired?
And that's me and Will trying to get better with every issue. One of the things we do from a writing and an artist standpoint is we solicit honest feedback, right? What can we do? How can I make the story pull you in more, right? And I ask everybody that gets the book, hey, let me know. DM me on Instagram if you see us at a con. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. Trust me, constructive criticism only helps us get better at every turn. With the artwork shift from issue one to issue two, again, that's Will pushing his pen, to get better. And one of the things we wanted to do with issue two is, okay, how do we give it a bit of a darker feel, right? As we trail off into issue three, because in issue three something major happens within the storyline, and that's where the shift comes from, right? And one of the things that always intrigues me as a writer is how you set up, especially characters with superpowers, quote unquote superpowers, right? Is one of the things that's always intrigued me is somewhat of a slow burn, right? I'm as a reader, and this might just be me. I may be a little weird, but I don't want to know everything there is to know about a specific character in issue one, right? When I see that, it kind of dulls the moment for me as you start to go across the different issues, which is why people will come to me and ask, or well, we got kudos around that. And then people will come to me and ask, okay, hey, when are we going to see Devon really, really, showcase some of what we think is coming down the line, right? Is his power electricity? No, it's not electricity, right? But we're going to explain what it is across issues 3 and 4, um, and yeah, just getting that love back in terms of the honest and constructive criticism. This will ask people consistently, hey, what did you like about the first book? How can I make it better in issue two? Issue two is also artistically a bit sharper. If you look at the difference between um, 1 and 2 with the art, but and I did the same thing with the writing, right? So we're pulling in a few of and I'll give a little bit away here. So, and I have no problems doing it. So there's going to be a collective of reapers. It's not just one, as you all have already seen. There's actually going to be 7, right? So I have to figure out a way to introduce, you know, Devon's character and build out Colin and Natasha within the first story arc, which is going to be about 12 issues. How do I do that so that the reader doesn't get overwhelmed in the beginning, so that it kind of starts to trail off at the end? And the main villain, the people still don't know exactly what he is, and we're coming on issue 3 with that, right? Where exactly does he come from? That's all being done intentionally. Um, so kind of building that suspense is something that I think I pull from Rodney Barnes on that too. Like his writing is phenomenal. And the way he grabs you and he can just like hold you there and pull you along in a manner in which you stay locked in
Yeah.
because you just have the interest on okay, what's going to happen next. That's kind of the feel that I'm looking for when I'm writing the book too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, my bad, Jan, but
Okay.
that first issue, I know you had asked, said it like, what was your favorite part? Oh, that movie, the movie theater, the going into the where they're eating food and everything comes in. I don't want to give too much away, but I like that scene when it all goes down.
Oh no, you can talk about it. I mean, issues 1 and 2 are done. I mean, the more we talk about it, hopefully it'll interest people.
Hey, I need the
so,
audience to grab a copy because, like,
so
like, because I had it open, believe me, and my page, like right here where it was going in, and they getting ready to sit down, and then it just all
mhm,
goes down from there on. And you got
all
the
goes down. Yes,
you have the
sir.
scene.
Yes,
Your
sir.
is the part I'm getting at. That was my favorite scene. And then part
Oh,
two,
I appreciate that. I
yeah,
appreciate it. So with that, um, the setup for that, right? One of the things I absolutely love reading is when a writer can capture I guess you could say the smaller in between points in life,
right,
right? Like where he goes to pick up his girlfriend Destiny, right? They're just hanging out on the way to the movies. She asks him to stop at the coffee shop and get some coffee on the way there. He does that, and you see
right,
that whole interaction, and you get to the movies, and you think it's gonna be just a regular movie date, and bow, the action starts.
yeah,
Um, so in doing that, like I said, it's all in the setup too for that, and then something that catches, from my perspective, what catches me as a reader, because as I'm writing, I always want to say, okay, well, what would I like? When I take a step back and look at it objectively, I say, okay, what would pull me in, right, and then there's a sort of familiarity with it too. So the panels in which Devon and Destiny are in the car and he's listening to some old school music, right? And
right,
he's like, "Well, this is what my parents listen to," and she's like, "Oh, my parents listen to this too," right? So it gives us an aura of familiarity there.
right.
Um, so yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of book 1, 2. So give y'all a fun fact. The first, what was it, 4 pages of the book, the airport scene.
Yeah,
We actually finished issue 1. We were done, and then I know I got on Will's nerves, and he never forgets to remind me about it. Um, the graveyard scene in issue 1 was initially how it started. You
really,
see Devon at the grave, visiting his parents'
yeah,
grave site. Then I came back and I said, "Well, something hit me. It didn't sit right in my spirit." I said, "Well, no, based off of the title in the book and what we're doing, that's kind of to be you would expect the book to start off like that.
yeah,
Let's take it in a whole nother direction,
Yeah.
right? At least start it off." So we added those pages we were done. We added those pages in and kind of shifted a few other things around, but very, very last minute, right? Because those first few pages really throw you off.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a time skip, right, to when Devon's a baby and to where he's 17 years old. So um yeah, that's the fun part of that. And then issue 2, getting to see the grandma Rhonda character, you
She was my
know.
favorite, bro. I'm telling you. She was
I
my
appreciate
favorite. When she came in
man.
the scene, I was like, uh-oh, she got some power.
Oh yeah, and she came in and did what she needed to do, and we're like, okay. And we've actually gotten a lot of feedback on her character, so much so that we're working on her storyline.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna do something after the first arc is finished, story arc is finished. But yeah, she's explaining what she is gonna come come next because people are falling in love with her character.
Oh, I love
As,
her.
Yeah, I like her
especially.
character.
So yeah, just like I said, doing the best job I can to keep everybody intrigued, keep everybody happy and wanting to see what's coming next with the book is uh yeah, we're pushing hard to do.
Hey,
I
bro,
mean,
I was gonna say real quick, Temples. When I read comic books, I don't know if I've seen that much going on at the like. You it's a lot of time with like even the music selection, right? And I was like, oh, he's my generation. Like I know exactly where he's coming from. And then flipping it to like the climax, right? And where you get the antithesis of like why we're here. We thought we were on a date, now we moving on to something else. Let's go and get this jump started. And it's fast and furious too. I also like the fact that the artwork sort of is a amalgamation of like manga and like
yeah,
traditional. It has a flavor that's different,
yeah.
and so I really appreciate it. Even the way that William is drawing, the even like the 3/4 view, he's looking up. There's something there that's really cool, and the coloring is spot on. It's pretty dope.
Oh yeah,
So
real vibrant, real
yeah,
vibrant.
yeah,
And it comes out. I love it. Like it's almost glow in the dark. To be honest, like I could put it
I
under
really
the light. It's
appreciate
like yeah. And what I like
it.
about the comic is getting ready. I hope I don't ruin that, but I feel like it's getting ready for a hero's journey. Like it's
Yeah.
getting ready for him to go to this adventure. He's gonna learn a lot. He's gonna come back even stronger. I feel like I know. I
but this
can't
my
wait, man.
this
Yeah,
girl
I
though. I
can't
ain't
wait
gonna
for
front.
this.
This my girl right here.
Yeah, I pulled it out too. I pulled it out too. I
Please
was like,
don't kill her off too early. Please don't kill her off. I need her
Oh
to
no! Oh
stick
no!
around.
She's here to stay for quite some time. She's here
Okay,
to stay
good,
for quite some time.
good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
see,
awesome.
what I really appreciate is my boy, this right here. He
Yeah,
gave us the cars, the
yeah.
stickers. I was like, yes, I'm putting this on my laptop. I just
Oh,
wanted to
cool.
show.
Dope,
I wanted to
dope,
show it out
dope,
at least.
dope. Super dope. Super
So
dope.
let me ask you
Yes,
this.
yes.
I know you're waiting for. You're getting ready for. I hope I'm not jumping ahead, Jen, but
Oh, no, go
because
ahead.
I want to hear about part 3. Like when are you going to do a Kickstarter? What's going to happen with that?
Yep. So we actually just got through doing the Kickstarter that it didn't get funded, unfortunately.
Oh,
But that's cool because the Kickstarter for issue 2 didn't either.
okay.
Kickstarter, we did one for issue 1 that got funded successfully. But then 2 and 3 just didn't for some strange reason. There were some things we can learn from that on the business side, from marketing and maybe pushing it a bit more. But we do the Kickstarters just to have fun with it. The books are coming one way or another, right?
Awesome.
It's just that but we just haven't found a ton of success using Kickstarter. But they're coming one way or another. Like I said, this is our passion. We love to do it. So you're gonna get these books, whether
Yeah,
the Kickstarter gets funded or not.
just definitely let us know when it drops so we can make sure we push it out there and
I
let the people
appreciate it.
know
I appreciate
because
it.
man, I like I said, I can't wait for part 3. Like when it's done, you're doing 12 issues a season, right?
Yeah, the first arc is going to be 12 issues.
Okay.
And then after that, like we have no set number of issues that we want to do. We want to keep this going as long as we possibly can.
Okay.
Because in the first 12 issues, you're only going to get to see Devon's character start to develop.
Mm,
And you're only going to see 2 of the 7 within that first arc.
Wow.
So we still got to go through the other 5 Reapers and tell you all, what their backgrounds were and go into their storylines. Now, in issue 6, there is a conversation between Devon's character and Natasha's character that's going to span about 4 pages, where she goes through the background and the history of creation itself, who the Reapers are, and how they play into just life and death in general, where we're taking a bit of a different spin on the Grim Reaper lore. So it's gonna be really interesting how we break it down. So you'll get the explanation on that midway through the first arc. And issue 6 is gonna be super dope because it's gonna be basically Devon. How do I say this without giving it too much away? Um, him having that moment of revelation,
Mm.
right?
Mm,
To where it starts to really set in who he is, you know, why his life went the way that it did initially, growing up, and you know why he's, you know, Grandma Rhonda has been raising him since a baby,
Mhm.
right.
right? So that in that we get it gets a little deep in issue 6.
Can't wait.
Listen, everybody who's listening, y'all need to get on them Kickstarters, and we as a community need to show up and make sure that we help promote it as well. We're a pretty mighty force. I think we can get some stuff done,
Mhm.
and you've also referred to a whole bunch of folks who we've been privileged to actually interview and connect with too. So it might be an opportunity for y'all just to also tap into what's happening here. I think it's a great project, and I'm thankful that you're like, we're gonna make this happen no matter what. And so if you see it on our page, make sure that you push it out as soon as that sucker goes out for the Kickstarter, because you just got an exclusive on issue number 6. Number 3 is coming out, and number 4 is on its way. So back to basics, bring you exclusives from the future, and you need to make sure that the 12 issues are produced. They're gonna be produced regardless, but we want you to help these brothers make their dreams come true. This is probably one of the your biggest dreams, right? Like as a child, and an adult too. And so let's all get together. Indie is where it's at, and I'll tell you straight up, books like yours is what's keeping the comic book industry really vibrant and on its heels, to be quite honest. So they got a whole bunch of money, they got a whole bunch of power in the industry, but I think ultimately people are going to cons looking for indie folks that have amazing and innovative stuff. So
Oh,
your stuff is up there, man. So great job.
just like us, when we go to Comic Cons, I'm not going to these spots where it's all known. I'm going to the indie spots. I want to get to know those people. I want to know what's going on with the comics, and then how it's going to be branching out, because I'm sure you're going to be branching out these comics with when you're done with the first season. I kind of want to say, is there a show coming? Y'all talking about a show or anything?
Yep. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal.
Okay.
Is to get a show. So
Options.
we want to start pitching next year
Mm,
to show the different networks, and I'm about 70% through writing the movie script now.
nice.
So it's that is our ultimate goal, is to get it like on one of the streaming networks, whether it be animation, live action, or you know, for us to have a sit down with one of these movie houses and say, hey, you know, we got it, right? We the way I look at it, right, is there are, because a lot of us on some base level love a lot of the same stuff,
Mhm.
right? So there are millions on top of millions of people out there who like the Marvel movies just like we do, who like the DC movies the same way that we do. So if I can we can kind of tap into that, and show them that, hey, and then this is new in the indie world. This is like this. These are new stories that are just as captivating as what we've been reading for the past 20 to 30 years,
Especially
right?
now, the
And
last 4 years. Yeah.
especially now, and it's not just us. As you all were talking about other indie creators, I mean, Greg Burnham and Marcus Williams with Tuskegee Airs. Greg
Yep.
has the Search for Sardica. Newton Lilleval with Crescent City Monsters.
Yep.
Keisha the Demon Eater. Jack Harris with Terminus Veil. Rolam and his stuff. Like there's a good lord, man. As I'm reading a lot of this stuff, because I'm one of those people who I don't just talk it, right? I actually go out and I support my brothers and sisters out here who
That's
are doing
right.
the same thing that we do.
Right.
Um, I'm reading some of this stuff and I get inspired all over again.
Hmm.
And it's just like, wow, not only are there some dope storylines in what we're doing, like even just the sheer marketability of it would be absolutely insane and nuts for anybody to start picking up on. It's just that we're there, everybody else has to catch up.
That's right.
I
Well, the
mean,
other thing too is, I mean, at this point, you may have to figure out amalgamation of creators and creatives to get together and just,
yeah,
you know, do you can do everything from a one shot all the way through kind of
Mhm.
like creating a network
Mhm.
where people can actually tap into it. You know what I mean? And I think that
All,
would be a really good. I mean, Milestone was a great template, right? But it was still under the DC banner.
that's what stopped
Um,
them. Yeah, held them
so
back.
you know, but they still own. They were creative owned, and they ran their shop. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, unfortunately, the boom and bust happened, but ultimately, they gave us the blueprint of what that looks like, especially for
Right.
creators of color, people who are. I would even say the gender gap is closing as well. Like, there's a
Yes.
ton of women getting into the
Yep.
scene. We've interviewed a whole bunch of folks running. Robbie Atkinson's another person who's
Yeah,
doing manga, and she's killing it. And she's doing it.
yeah, it is.
It's got like an anime coming out. Like, it's insane. So tapping into
So,
the community is going to be amazing. But for you, I know you just gave us an exclusive about issue number 6, but I heard through the grapevine, aka you, that you got a big announcement about what's
yeah,
coming up down the pike. So you want to let some folks know about what exactly is happening in your camp?
oh, absolutely. So we just got the word that we were approved to host our very own Comic Con next year. So the date is currently Saturday, June the 14th in Ackworth, Georgia, at the Ackworth City Rec. So yeah, we're doing our own con. It's going to be a 1 day con. Um, where hopefully we can get some of our fellow indie guys to come out, guys and ladies to come out and you know um, share the artwork that they're doing, and we want to make the focus of it, the majority of the artists there, to be indie comics. A lot of the comic shops in the area too, we're hoping will come out and support, and this is something we've kind of been thinking about doing for quite some time now. It's not a super large on any scale like that, but you got to start somewhere. I'm one of those people where I know sometimes Will looks at me like I'm crazy. Mark my words, one day we're gonna have a Comic Con in Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Falcons play.
Ooh,
One day we're gonna have, and if not there, we're gonna be at uh, Truist Park where the Braves play, or State Farm Arena where the Hawks are at. Like, if you don't think big like that,
that's right.
then we're kind of shortchanging ourselves. But we got to start somewhere.
That's
You
right.
know, I was super inspired. We went to Atlantic Con a few months ago. And that was a super dope con. It was actually the best con we've ever been to,
Wow.
right? And the focus of that was on the indie creators. So got to meet a ton of people that I had admired from their artwork and in their books, face to face finally. But yeah, if we don't push the line for ourselves, it's a good chance no one else will.
So you heard it first, here first. We got this con coming up. It's just got approved. We need to make
Yeah.
sure that we show up. And then you talked about, I was dying laughing when you said it's only can hold 2,000 people. And I'm like, gee, that's a lot of people.
Right.
But no,
If
I
we
get
get
what you're
that many,
saying.
if we get that many, we hope so.
No, I get it. I get it. I
We
think
hope so. We putting that out in the atmosphere.
we listen, if we could sell out all the tickets, that'd be amazing. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to at least highlight the fact that that's a big accomplishment. 2,000 people, possibility. I mean, it's gonna grow and it's gonna, end up in the stadiums. So good
Hope
luck,
so.
man. Like, that's amazing. And
Keep
again,
pushing.
like, there's nothing small. We
Right.
got to start off somewhere. And I think your philosophy on hitting them high heights of achievement is definitely on point.
To be honest, and this is just my personal opinion, but Marvel, DC, they're being held back. I mean, we can't really dive into too much politics wise, but they are getting held back. I feel like there's a big gap right now for indie
Mhm.
to come in and just could take over, because you could come in right now and put out shows, movies, comics, and blow it up. Because right now Marvel and DC are not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, Marvel more, and they're like the top of the top. So, and DC is more dark, but they're more cartoon based. That's where they have the best stuff. But I feel like indie, man, y'all could come in right now and just take over if y'all wanted to. I mean, remember McFarlane, Liefeld, they did it. They separated themselves from the Masters and they did their own thing. And look where they at now. You know, they had a Spawn show. You know, the Max, all these great comics that came into cartoons and stuff like that. I don't know. I believe that it's a. I think indie is the best, the biggest thing coming when nobody's really looking. So it's gonna come out of nowhere and slap everybody in the face. Like, hey, now we're here.
Yeah.
And I also love the fact that I feel like the big names or the big publishers and companies are taking notice. Like, it's by no means that these folks are not at these cons. And as you do more pitches and you do more collectivist ways of which you coordinate with other creatives, it's a matter of time, man. Because I think people are craving for not only innovative areas, but I also think that our show is called Back to Basics for a reason. We definitely have a nostalgia about what we love and what we like, and we want people to get triggered by that and get connected to it back again. The same stories, like you said, they can't be the same stories. We got to get new blood, new systems put in place so that we can be all successful. And I mean, I thought, all those folks that you just rattle off, I wish y'all would do a one shot and do an amalgamation of like all them universes. I wish that would be intense and crazy. So, so I'm crossing my fingers. I hope all of y'all who heard Jaron and his aspirations, let's make it happen. Why don't we do a one shot? Everybody make a book and then connect the universes and do it like they used to do back in the day with like Image and Valiant. I don't know if you remember that. That was a huge hit.
Yeah. I mean, let's right. Let's take it a step up. Let's say you could work with two artists to do your cover, a virgin cover right now, and you wanted two people to do a cover for you. Who would it be? Big names.
I'm always gonna say Will. I'm always so. But if I have to go outside of William Macy, who's like in, I'd say if I'm forced to choose two outside of William, it would be Todd McFarlane and Marcus Williams.
Respect.
That would be something that would, those two together.
Oh, even a crossover. Imagine Spawn and a Spawn crossover.
Oh, Spawn would be. You know what? Funny thing about that, I actually wrote a 3-part. This was about maybe 9 or 10 years ago. That's why if I ever got the opportunity to guest to be a guest writer on anything, it would be Spawn because I already have it written. So there's like a 3-part series that I wrote for a Spawn book. That was that they haven't done yet.
Wow.
And it's an idea like that's how I kind of like sharpen my skills like coming up and just over my lifetime. But yeah, it's funny that you say that about Spawn with the crossover because and I could easily insert Devon Midnight into that storyline. Easily. It would be a quick
crossover.
three issue series and they could. Yeah, so tell them if they see this, holla at me.
and we're gonna tag them on every social media so that way they can see what's going on. I know we're running out of time. I don't make sure we are cognizant of your time, but Tempos, you want to ask about the wisdom catchphrases?
And it's crazy. I got so many more questions, but yes, you're right. Let me ask you this: if you had any words of wisdom or catchphrases you live by, what would they be to the general audience that's coming up?
The perfect moment doesn't exist. if you're waiting on the perfect moment to get whatever it is you're trying to do off the ground or to even start, it doesn't exist,
Mm.
right? There's always there's always going to be something standing in your way, whether you have a ton of money and you can, you have those types of resources, something done, but you may run into an issue with the talent, not being able to gel with the people you're working with. You may have the talent and not the money, whatever, or you just might be afraid.
Yeah.
You might be a little scared to jump out there because that was one of my issues at first. Like I loved the storyline that I had come up with, but there's always that. Ooh, are people gonna like it? Is it just gonna? Are they gonna rip me to shreds when they read it or when they see it? Right.
Yeah.
So you have to go. You have to go, and um, you just as long as your heart is in the right place and you do your best to get the right people around you, all you got to do is continue putting in that effort, and it'll be it. I have a firm belief that it'll strongly work out. So yeah, the perfect moment doesn't exist. You sometimes you just got to push, and not knowing success is going to come, right? You pray for that, you work towards that, but you don't know when, you don't know how, you don't know how that's gonna come across to you. I mean, we started this back in 2017, right? So we're almost 8 years in now, and we're doing issue 3, volume 1, 4 and 5 are coming next year. We've got an opportunity to pitch next year to a few different studios, and if you'd have asked us how rough it was when we first started, man, it was rough.
Mm.
It was rough, but it got us to where we're at now. So yeah, so you just gotta start. You just gotta put it out there. Let it. Sometimes the plan writes itself. You think you know how it's gonna go,
That's right.
but then what's the phrase? We make plans and God laughs or something like that, right? So
Never heard that.
you
Never heard
know
that before.
yeah, just that's I guess you could say that's my catchphrase, my words of wisdom.
All right. So how can people buy your stuff, get in touch with you, ask you questions? How can they engage with you and really get some nuggets of just knowledge and how they can also possibly, if they want to do the same thing, what are some ways in which people can purchase and or get in touch with you?
So they can reach us at thereaperstouch.com. Our Instagram handle is the Reapers Touch 2020. And you can just DM us or through either the website or the Instagram page. The name of our company is actually focusedmindscomics.com, so you can go there too, um, and contact us through there. And one of the things we love talking to people. We tell them all the time when we meet young artists and writers at the cons or and at the signings that we do. Hey, if you're interested, just reach out. We don't claim to be experts on everything. We can just share our experience, where we where the bumps in the road have been for us, so that we can hopefully stop other people from hitting those same bumps who have these aspirations. Um, so yeah, and we love to talk and show people what it is we do, um, and help them along their journey. So
Awesome.
that's the best way to get in contact with us. Yeah. Or
And
Jaron,
any
Jaron at focusmindscomics.com. Shoot me an email. I'm
awesome.
always available.
Awesome. You heard it here. And any cons that we should be keeping our eyes open outside of the one that you're going to be producing?
Mhm.
Are there any upcoming cons that you're tabling?
Well, right now, not really. For the rest of the year, the last one, I did one last weekend, but the next con you may see us at is MomoCon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if we get approved to go. Uh, we of course want to do Dragon Con and NYC Con
It's a
next
big
year.
one.
Yeah, so we're gonna scale back just a little bit on doing the cons next year because we're doing our own. And two, we're really focused on getting the next few issues out. And like I said, we're writing the movie script and trying to get some other things ready
Sure.
for that next phase as we're pushing along. So we're kind of shifting our focus just a little bit, but so we won't be as con heavy next year as we were this past year.
Listen, this has been an amazing time with you. We are so excited that we're able to get together with you on a Sunday and spend some time with you as friends and colleagues in the sense of in this community. So we just want to make sure that you're successful, and thank you for helping us stay successful in this YouTube sphere. Our programs are typically once every week, every other week. We try to give people some connections to some amazing folks who are doing their thing. So,
New flavor.
yeah, new flavor. So, on behalf of the Back to Basics Comic Book Podcast, we want to thank you so much, sir. Tempos, you got anything to add to the flavor of the conversation?
I mean, I still got questions,
bro.
I mean,
You always got questions. We never have time.
I know. Can I ask one more? Can I ask one more
Go
question?
ahead. I'm here.
Go ahead.
I'm here and present.
It better be good.
Favorite anime?
Good Lord.
Favorite anime?
I'm an anime head. I ask everybody. Favorite one. If you had to pick one anime, what would that be?
Is that even a question? It's Dragon Ball Z, man.
Dragon Ball Z.
For me, Dragon Ball Z, followed closely by Bleach.
Okay, respect.
Followed closely by Bleach. Mm-hmm.
I mean, me, Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
Right. Goran Lagann, but that's a lot of people. That's indie stuff. That's why I like the backstories. But you know what? Dragon Ball Z, I give you that one because Dragon Ball Z just came out on a new one also.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball
Yeah,
Daima.
Dragon Ball Daima. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Well, thank you so much. This has been an amazing time and amazing pleasure. We look forward to issue number 3, 4, 5, and you heard about what happens in number 6. He didn't give too much away, but he gave enough for us to be, to be able to be anticipatory about what's going to happen next. So, with that said, thank y'all. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming, Jern. Next time we'll get William to come through as well, and everybody else from the team, if they want to come on and pop on and just give us an update, we would love that.
Awesome. I appreciate you all. For everybody that's watching this, please subscribe to the channel, like it, share it. We gotta support each other.
That's right.
You know, this is where it starts, and I'm truly grateful and honored to be on here with the both of you. And thank you for letting me come on and share my passion and what it is me and Will love to do so much. So thank you everybody watching.
Thank y'all. All right, y'all. This is Back to Basics, a comic book podcast, and you have just experienced what exactly greatness looks like. So keep supporting us, keep supporting our indie creators, and keep supporting the culture. We check you out in the next episode. Peace.